ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track. And ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
Welcome to Don't Retire, Graduate, the podcast that asks you what you want to be when you grow up so you can graduate into retirement with a purpose and a passion. I'm your host and valedictorian, Eric Brotman, and we're excited to be bringing Season 6 to our growing audience. We'll be bringing you interviews with amazing guests every other Thursday, and on alternating weeks, we're hosting a new segment called Diary of a Financial Advisor, which we're sure you'll enjoy. So please subscribe and check out our new content every Thursday. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Jasmine Trocchia. Jasmine is the marketing manager for American IRA, but her story is one of the more interesting pivots I've ever encountered, and she's here to share it with us. She was a YouTuber, had over 200,000 subscribers, and is taking those skills to the workplace at American IRA. Jasmine, welcome to Don't Retire, Graduate.
Hi, Eric. I'm so happy to be here. You have 6 seasons. Is that 6 years you've been doing this?
Yeah, six years, and I'm still learning.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, I've been a content creator for going on 10 years this year, which is pretty crazy.
Well, share your story with us, because when we met, I was I stunned, dumbfounded, like shocked. YouTubers are real people. I thought they were just these avatars or something. So share your story, because I just think it's fascinating. And the chapter of your life that it got you through and the way you monetized is remarkable.
Yeah. So 2015, I was a stay-at-home mom. My youngest son was 3, and we used to just watch Minecraft YouTubers. That was kind of the heyday of a lot of Minecraft YouTubers. We didn't even have cable. We just put on YouTube. We would watch family-friendly Minecraft YouTubers. And I thought, well, we play Minecraft, and I know how to do that on a computer. Why don't I just record myself doing it? And that is literally what I did. My very first video was posted in December of 2015. And it's me and my son, who's 3, and you can hear him. We don't have our face cam. You can hear him on the microphone, and we're playing Minecraft, and he is just talking through it, and we're just having a good time. And I didn't even edit it heavily. I just threw it on YouTube. So 6 months later, I started playing Roblox on YouTube, and I was regularly posting all the good stuff that you're supposed to do to beat the YouTube algorithm, and I made tons of money. I thought you've been kidding. The summer of 2016, I made $10,000 off of just ad revenue by itself.
Amazing. And so you got to be home. You didn't have to go to work. You didn't have to put your child in daycare, and you got to pay some bills, which
that's exactly what I did. I was a stay-at-home mom. I would work. My son would play with me a lot of times, but when I was doing recording, my kids kind of got sick of it. Honestly, I have 3 kids. And so they were like, I would just talk about it. I'm like, what's the next game we should play? Maybe we should do this. That would be such a great video idea. And in the heyday, 2016, 2017, when my channel was really growing, I was doing 2 videos every single day. I was doing a Minecraft and a Roblox. When live streaming came out on YouTube, I was one of the first live streamers that were competing with Twitch. on YouTube as well. So I would do at least one live stream a week, and then it was like 2, and then it was like 3. So it was an everyday thing. And then my youngest son, when he started school, I was still kind of doing YouTube. So I would take the kids to school, I would do YouTube, I would do a little side hustle job for like real money, put the kids to bed, do more YouTube, and just repeat the cycle. So that's what I did for a couple of years and grew the channel and learned how to do marketing. That was grassroots. When you have a YouTube channel, that's your business, right? Your product is your video. So you want to make people watch that video. You want to like, subscribe, and share. That's what you have to make them do. So I did my own Facebook. I did my own Twitter. I did my own website. I did my own, I didn't do any ads, but I did my own networking. I was the channel manager for a Minecraft server called, what was that called? I can't remember what it was called now. But there was a Minecraft server that had a Minecraft channel. So I was running that and trying to get creators to be on that channel. Did some other side hustle things in terms of like consulting. You know, people would say, I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to promote myself. And so I learned how to do all of that, beat the algorithm. And yeah. And then life happens. I had to get a real job. So
at some point, most of us do. Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of accolades and things that I got doing the YouTube channel, but fast forward to now, I put on my resume, because that's what I did for a long time. For 5 solid years, I worked for myself for YouTube. And I put that on my resume because I was like, I grew 200,000 subscribers. I grew 30,000 Twitter followers. I grew 35,000 Instagram followers. Like I had all of that and all of that knowledge on how to grow that. And when I was going to move to Asheville, long story, I had that on my resume, and Jim Hitt, the CEO of American IRA, said, I need somebody for my marketing department. Do you want to work for me? And I went, yes, sir. I would love to be in your marketing department. And so that's what I do now is I'm the head of the marketing department at American IRA, and trying to take what I know or learned about my own business, you know, growing a YouTube channel, growing a following, mainly social media and content, SEO, all of it. It's like full stack marketing. And applying that to now a financial industry. So huge pivot. And the biggest pivot, I know you're going to ask, what's the biggest pivot? With my own channel, I could say and do whatever I want, right? I feel like playing this game, I'm going to play it. I feel like talking about this, I'm going to talk about it. With American IRA, there's certain things I can and can't say, right? Certain things I can and can't do. Certain maybe guests that I necessarily can't collaborate with. So that's been the biggest challenge for me. It's like I just can't willy-nilly do whatever I think we need to do. So
yes, well, the financial services is heavily regulated,
yes.
and you know, all of us have to watch out for certain third rails. You know, I certainly do in hosting this show. You brought up so many things. I don't know where to begin, but I'm trying to envision when I was growing up. I'm trying to envision my mom or dad doing what you just did and saying, you know, I get home from school and they're like, hey, let's play games and shoot videos. And of course we didn't have that technology then, but I think even if we had, they always thought that video games were a fool's errand. And I always tried to say, well, you know, we're collaborating with friends. We're having people over. Of course, it wasn't streaming at the time. It was all in the house. So you had to actually get together at the time, which I realize is now worldwide and totally different. But I said, it's good for our eye-hand coordination and concentration and critical thinking. And I was trying to find a way to say, look, the time I'm spending in front of what was then like a Nintendo or an Atari or something, this is important stuff. I'm learning life skills. They didn't buy it. And so, you know, I was one of those kids who had a little bit of a screen time desire more than I had screen time. So fast forward, I'm a dad, and you know, my daughter played all those kinds of games growing up. She played the Minecraft, which for the life of me, I don't understand the allure. Maybe you can help me. She played Roblox. I would jump on. She played Among Us and all these other games as a growing kid. And every now and again, she'd say, Dad, would you play? And I would play. But I never thought that was I saw it as time with her much more than I ever saw it as, hey, this is marketing, or I could create something out of this. So now I'm, 30 plus years in this industry, Jasmine. I'm trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. One of the reasons for doing this show is I'm hearing so many amazing stories about people who do pivot and go into a different. I'm trying to figure mine out a little bit, and I'm trying to get this show to 200,000 subscribers. It sounds like I'm going to need your help, but it's just such an amazing thing for me to recognize that some of the things that at least growing up our parents said these aren't good, you can't do that, have actually turned into careers. And game design's a very big deal. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry to build games and to build the communities and to do the marketing and to have the daily content, and everything is gamified. Everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's learning a foreign language or learning to play music or working out or whatever it is, everything today is gamified. It's actually one of the things that scares me a little in finance is that some of the financial tools, the investing tools have become gamified. And there's something about getting a badge for placing X number of trades that sort of feels like a little uncomfortable to me. Like that seems like maybe we're not teaching great behaviors. But what are the skills that you were able to use as Sally Green Gamer that you can now use as American IRA's marketing manager? What are the transferable skills?
Wow, that's a really, really good question. So, well, first of all, the very basis, kind of an understanding of YouTube, and then tied into that Google, right? So, how to beat the YouTube algorithm, how to network with people to collaborate to grow your audience, how to find the right keywords in the description, all of those cool SEO terms, right? That's probably at its basis the first thing that transfers. In addition to that, all the editing. Like when I was doing YouTube, well, I still do videos that you just saw the Tanky channel. So I work for Tanky. It's like a kids gaming Netflix platform. So they pay me per video, so I don't have to worry about like likes and subscribes and all of that good stuff. But video editing skills, Premiere Pro, Photoshop. I made all my thumbnails. All the thumbnails you see there, I still make those. So that's definitely been a big thing. So we at American IRA, I and my assistant are, and maybe a little bit of an outside agency, but we're mainly the top down full stack marketers. So you're trying to pick a really great title, right? That catches your attention, that makes you want to click. So you have to pick the right words for all of that. You have to pick the right keywords. You have to write the right description. You have to make the right thumbnail that makes you want to click on it. So we do all of that for American IRA. If you look at the American IRA Facebook page, you can look at the American IRA LinkedIn. We have our email newsletter, all of that stuff, all top down, top to bottom, transferable skills. Blog posts, like, are they catchy? Are they readable? Do they have the right keywords? We do the Google ads, all the SEO. So all of that stuff that I probably could have learned getting a marketing degree. People who have a marketing degree are like, I don't even know how to do that. So you just really have to put your boots to the ground to learn how to do all that. And so me having my own business as a YouTube content creator, I had to do my own research. I had to do my own networking. I had to figure out all of those things. And so transferring that to American IRA has been kind of a no-brainer, but it's really very much my wheelhouse. Like, that's what I know how to do. Talking in front of a camera, that's what I know how to do.
Well, and certainly I didn't have to give you any pointers today about how to do that. In fact, I might learn a few things while I'm here. We met at the FinCon conference last fall, summer, fall, whatever. And you were in the booth next to ours. So we had a booth for Advisor Podcast Partners, and we were helping financial advisors and others figure out whether they should run podcasts for their practice. And that's part of the consulting I'm doing. And it's actually been a ton of fun to get folks to realize that we're authorities in our subject, but unless you're an influencer, it's hard to find a new audience. And so finding ways to do that. And it really, we got to spend 3 days together sort of in neighboring booths in the expo hall. And the more I talked to you, the more I said, I have to know more. So of course I sought you out online, and I'm going to put you on the spot here because I tried to friend Sally Green Gamer, and I got what equated to the Heisman Trophy. Oh no, you can follow me, but you may not be my friend. So explain how that works. Explain how you keep riffraff like me off of your channel.
Oh, absolutely. So it's so it's multifaceted, and that's kind of a loaded
Uh-huh.
question. Because I was a family-friendly YouTuber in an era where there were not a lot of gaming channels that were not cursing or they were playing inappropriate games like for kids. I wasn't for kids. My motto was always like, if your grandma walked in the room while you were watching my channel, you would not have to just turn it off. You wouldn't be embarrassed. You could be like, Grandma, Nana, come sit down and watch Sally Green Gamer with me. So there was the kids. So there was the ones who were younger, who were like, I just want to get close to you. I want to be your friend. I want to be a YouTuber. I want you to teach me how to do this. I want to be famous like you. So kind of locking down like friend requests or follow requests, or, I had a blanket rule. I would not direct message anyone at all. I'd never direct message anyone. I'd never accepted friend requests anywhere that I could be DM'd. In the games that I played, I would turn off direct messages. I even to this day, I still have chat off in Roblox, the direct like chat in the game. Because you never know, there's just kids wanting to be with you. And then there are creeps wanting to be with you. And I have a couple stories about that, but that's not family friendly either.
Right. Yeah, this is a show too, by the way.
Yeah.
We're going to keep this PG at least. But okay, so that's interesting. So one of the ways to connect with people in the business world, one of the ways to connect with people, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or other sites, Twitter, it's to deliberately try to do that and to try and be accessible and to try and engage in conversation, and then potentially set up a Zoom or a face-to-face, or, this is modern networking. Instead of walking into a business meeting and shaking hands with 50 people and exchanging business cards, you're now walking into a Zoom with 50 people and introducing yourself. And it's just a very different, it's the same experience, but it's in a different setting. And of course, it's a little, there's less traffic because people can do it in their homes. But for you to turn that off and then still to grow this means you weren't interacting with fans. Kind of, you were the celebrity of YouTube rather than.
I was interacting with fans. I have a Discord channel. It's our Discord server. Do you know what Discord is?
I have no idea what that is.
Platform. Okay. So Discord's like it's like a Zoom platform that you have like instant messages to people. You set up a server. So I was a Discord partner for a while. So I would do it. I'd interact in public with kids, with fans, with people who wanted to talk to me. And a lot of times I would connect with someone like a smaller YouTuber who was like, hey, I really want to collab with you. They'd come into my Discord server. They'd be like, I really want to play games with you. I'm like, well, let's feel it out a little bit. Let me get a feel for like who you are, what your intention is. You just want to get famous? Are you actually trying to work on this? I would have playtimes on my Discord server, and it was in public. It was in full view. I didn't want to do anything behind the scenes that was untoward or could be accused of being untoward. But
especially with
others,
kids. Yeah.
Yeah. In the gaming world, like I would just go on if I wanted to collab with somebody, like say a larger YouTuber, or even small, whatever, same size, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter to me. If I meshed with them and we could make good content, that's what mattered. So I would go to their live streams, and I had the little check mark on YouTube because I was verified, and I would just chat them and be like, hey, I really like your content. I think this is fantastic. Let's connect, come to my Discord, whatever the case may be. I joined their Discord. That's really how you kind of have to kind of be in the community of where you want. That's why I was at FinCon. It's a great summit. Be in the community of who you want to connect with. And one of my goals, it was twofold. I was a content creator because I'm a content creator for American IRA. And then the other half is, I wanted to connect with other content creators, and I'm a brand. So it was multifaceted.
Well, it would be unfair. Well, and that's fine. It would be unfair to have this show be only about Sally Green Gamer and not about Jasmine and American IRA. Tell us what you do now. And, you've talked about sort of the transferable skills, but what are the things that you're doing professionally that, you've sort of graduated to this stage of your life, and maybe you'll graduate again, and I'm going to put you on the spot later, but tell me about this phase of life and what you're doing specifically for American IRA and a little bit about the company.
I am super excited to work for American IRA. And that sounds really salesy and corporate, but it's honestly true. American IRA has been around for 20 years. We're a self-directed IRA company. So if you're not familiar with self-directed IRAs, third-party custodian for assets that are non-traditional. And the IRA holds the assets and you make the investments, and then you can make a bigger return a lot of times. That goes back into your retirement account. That's the short story. Super, super, super excited about stuff that's coming down the pipe. We actually just launched our own podcast. A couple of years ago, podcast was sort of started, but it didn't really go anywhere or do anything. And so have the ability to sort of revive that. And I'm super excited to get that going. We just launched in 2025. So that's brand new. And we have webinars. We've had webinars for several months. Every Wednesday at noon, I hold sort of a lunch and learn type webinar live via Zoom. And that's been packed full. I learned something every single time we have a webinar with special guests, with informative slides, just all kinds of interesting stuff. That's on the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel for American IRA is booming. We are just now starting to gain traction on that. So that's super cool that's coming down the pipe as well. So please check out the YouTube channel for American IRA. Everything. It's just really neat. It's neat to work for such a cool company.
So a lot of the investments that you all hold, a lot of the things you custody are things like commercial real estate and various types of private funds and those kinds of things, which can't be held by a traditional custodian sometimes. And so they work in concert with some of the other investing or other things that folks are doing, not necessarily in lieu of that. So it's a great way to consider a satellite for certain assets that maybe can't be in your 401k or your IRA or what have you elsewhere. So that makes perfect sense. And now that you're growing that YouTube channel, my question is, some of the kids you played Roblox with, are some of them now opening IRA accounts? And if so, do you have any idea how that translated from one business to the other? Because
my goodness,
these kids are adults now.
Yeah, I was like, that was like 10 years ago. The last couple of videos that I was making on my channel, and kids would leave comments like, "I grew up with you," and I was like, that was just like 5 years ago. But I guess if you're 7,
that's half their lives. 13,
yeah, like that's grown up. Yeah. So I mean, I guess they'd be in their 20s. My oldest kid is 23. So, starting to think about investing.
And is your oldest kid still a gamer?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All 3 of my kids are. Absolutely. My middle kid does live streaming on like Twitch, and my young guy,
he dare compete with mom.
Yeah. I don't know about compete, but like it was kind of that dichotomy is a whole big conversation. The biggest thing I like to do to embarrass my kids is to show their friends my silver play button. If you know what that is, that's the 100,000.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh man, they don't make them like this anymore. So it's an actual, I should have brought it in. It's an actual plaque that's glass, and it has a little silver play button, and has, congratulations on 100,000 subscribers from YouTube. Just like that one. Wow. I have one of the older ones that was glass and has a little play button in the middle. But I'll pull that out and I'll be like, do you want to see my silver play button? You want to play with my action figure? I have a real Roblox branded action figure. I used to keep it on my desk. I should bring it back in. But
yes, for sure. So I'm like, I know we only have a couple minutes left, and I would say you and I could talk all day, and I know that because we've talked for 3 days on end, actually, in other settings. I got to ask you, what's next? Sort of, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that's a loaded question, because I get the sense you're never going to mature per se or grow up in the traditional sense. But what is the next chapter of your life look like, and how are you gonna make that happen?
Oh golly! So I have a big dream. I aspire to be a CMO. I would love to be knighted as Chief Marketing Officer one day. Jim Hitt, if you're watching this, that's it.
Oh, this is now a job interview, Jim. If you don't hire her, we might, and so you better jump on that right away. I know he is. So am I. So
that's my aspiration, is to be a CMO. And then aside from that, my cool new boyfriend and I are launching like an adventure channel. So we like to do we do model trains. Oh, let me show you. This is my mouse pad. So we do model trains and we go on adventures. Like we've gone hang gliding. We recently, for our first anniversary, went on a helicopter ride. So I was like, why don't we vlog this? We record this stuff. You take pictures, you have your phone, you do all kinds of stuff. Let's just throw that on a channel. Let's build our own little YouTube channel. So that's kind of our retirement. Like we'll start it now, but it'll be our retirement thing. So
okay. So there will be folks following you to see your next adventure, and they'll say, we used to play games in our basement with you, and now we're 25 and we're taking trips with you, and we're jumping out of planes with you. We're Jasmine, you're what a life. I mean, you really, you have to be super mom, number one. And you said you have a super cool boyfriend. Now this show may or may not age well, so there's a lot of pressure now. Of course, you didn't give us his name, so don't, because just in case 5 years from now somebody sees this, she's got a super cool boyfriend. Could be anyone. With that said, how can folks get in touch with you if they want to learn more about, marketing, if they want to hire you as CMO, of course, if they want to learn more about American IRA, or if they just want to pick the brain of somebody unique?
Yeah, absolutely. So professionally, marketing at AmericanIRA.com will reach me. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, I know you will be, Eric. We'll have you on. And I'm always looking for webinar presenters as well. So content creators, guest blogs, all that kind of stuff. I'm definitely open to suggestions. And then I guess personally, when we launch the new kind of vlog channel, probably be able to reach me there. I don't know what it's going to be yet. But marketing at AmericanIRA.com either way.
Well, I intend to fanboy this entirely. I would love to be on your podcast. I'm happy to do some webinar stuff. I'm happy to collaborate with you. I just think you're a shining star and a great human, and I can't thank you enough for sharing your story. I smiled for 25 minutes, which it starts to hurt after a while, but there's something about talking with you that seriously, you just bring light into the room. So I thank you for being on the show. This was great. I hope you inspired some folks to let their kids play, if nothing else, because some of these games are teaching life skills. Mom and Dad, I told you, and here it is. So now we know. So thank you for being on the show, Jasmine. This was great.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
I'd like to thank everyone for listening and watching today. If you enjoy our show, please subscribe, leave a rating on your favorite podcast platform. Those are priceless to us. Share the show with your family and friends so they can join you on your journey to financial freedom. And who knows, maybe get us to 200,000 followers. If you'd like to send us a topic or idea you'd like to discuss in a future episode of Don't Retire, Graduate, please post it on our Facebook page or tweet us at Brotman Planning. We'll be back next week with another entry in our Diary of a Financial Advisor, and in 2 weeks with another engaging guest. For now, this is your host, Eric Brotman, reminding you, don't retire, graduate.
Securities offered through Kestra Investment Services, LLC. Kestra IS. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Kestra Advisory Services, LLC. Kestra AS. An affiliate of Kestra IS. Kestra IS or Kestra AS are not affiliated with Brotman Financial or any other entity discussed.